Hello, welcome to week 4 of Taurus season. We're already wrapping up. Crazy. It flew by for me. And I am so excited to finally be here to chat about embracing the Hierophant and the Empress. We're going to focus mostly on the Hierophant today because the Hierophant is what rules Taurus. Where the Empress gets a special mention because Venus rules Taurus and the Empress rules Venus. So that's why she's sneaking in today. And we're just going to kind of hop right into it. I want to start with the mantra. I couldn't decide. So I have 3 suggested mantras for this week. The first one is, I write my story every day. I write my story every day. And you'll see how that ties in with this energy, because the Hierophant really encourages us to rewrite old patterns and question old beliefs. So that one's really potent. Next is, I honor my voice. Such an important aspect of growth and self-respect to honor your voice. And the Hierophant invites us to do that. And the third mantra that I want to recommend is, I put myself back into the narrative. I put myself back into the narrative. I think that one's really great for, I'm like holding my heart as I say these. I think that one's really great for a sense of like reclaiming power. Reclaiming power. Yeah, I'll leave that there. So, 3 suggested mantras for this week. I do always recommend that you choose like one big mantra for the week to really like float in and explore and experiment with for an entire week. I just think that's how they're most effective, and how you can really see how that kind of mantra will show up for you. Like spending a whole week in one mantra really helps you experiment better. I think with that, you get to experiment with like your power. Like if I really adopt this idea of, I put myself back into the narrative, and that is my focus for the week, or whichever one you choose, or none of those, choose your own. The Hierophant would want you to play with that for a whole week. Really see what it's like. What comes of your complete focus on something for an extended period of time. I assure you, you are so powerful and magical that you will see a shift, undoubtedly. So we're talking the Hierophant in a way that, like most of the little tarot books that come with your decks, don't really talk about it this way, or at least, like, traditionally, the Hierophant wasn't really looked at this way. Similarly to the way that sometimes people just hold on to kind of old paradigms, where the Emperor means like a father figure, a masculine man, like a man, and the Empress means a mother, or, a woman, and the Hierophant means look out for a teacher, or, ooh, somebody's gonna get married sometime soon. And that all can be true of the tarot cards. If you pull the Hierophant, it could mean to watch out for a teacher in your midst, right? That you have something to learn from the people around you. Maybe if you pull the Empress, maybe it has something to do with motherhood or your mother or whatever. And the major arcana cards are intended to be like energies that you embrace. I'm struggling because, like, I'm not here to teach a tarot course. I'm here to teach you how to embrace these energies. So I'm like trying to find the balance there. And I have to give credit where credit is due, because she is so brilliant, and I recommend that everybody follow her and learn from her. Lindsay Mack has taught me almost everything I know about the tarot. I have some dearly loved witchy friends who also helped me a whole lot. But Lindsay Mack has taught me most of what I know, and most of what I'm sharing with you is her version of the tarot, or soul tarot is what she calls it. So in soul tarot, we acknowledge that not everybody identifies with being very masculine or being very feminine. We realize that to pull the Empress and it's such a limited lens. It's not so useful to limit us to, or for us to limit the Empress and the Emperor to being parents, to mother and father roles. It's not so useful. There's so much more than that, and that's really what Soul Tarot is all about. It's about reclaiming these cards as ours. And if not everybody can see themselves in the Empress, then we need to adjust the definition of Empress, because everybody should be able to see themselves reflected in the Empress in some way or another. It does not just mean mother or woman or female. And like with the Hierophant, to just assume this is like a priest or a teacher, some people experience huge power abuse with teachers. So how can we work with the Hierophant when we have trauma around hierarchy and power? It doesn't fit. We would have a really hard time relating to this card, right? And Soul Tarot teaches us the tarot in a way where we can all see ourselves in all of the cards in some way. So you are the Hierophant. You are the Empress. How, and we're going to focus on the Hierophant first. How you are is the Hierophant. How somebody has chosen to channel it in this way, that's like very traditional. And if this is meant to represent the highest form of wisdom, but this like existed 100 years ago, it's lazy. It's lazy. It's a lazy depiction of the highest form of wisdom that there is, because really that's what the Hierophant represents, is divine wisdom, divine teaching, divine knowing. You are the Hierophant. You are the being who knows your own wisdom. And you are the being who gets to go and say, I know it's true here, and I can honor, and I know it's true here, and I can honor what I've been taught. I can honor what other people have said, but what do I think is true? That's what the Hierophant does. So the definition of Hierophant is a person, especially a priest in ancient Greece, who interprets sacred mysteries or esoteric principles. So historically, no one could question the Hierophant. They were placed upon a pedestal. Blind acceptance is encouraged within, like, traditionally. This kind of energy. They were the being who could interpret the texts, and they were the one who had a direct relationship or communication with God, and then they shared the wisdom with the rest. So blind acceptance is never good, right? We can see how that is and has been like damaging in the past, and I hesitated because damaging didn't feel big enough. Traumatizing. Yeah. So the Hierophant also is not only embodied in like terms of a teacher or a pastor, but it also can, like, that energy can also reflect like a parent-child relationship. So at least like in what I'm speaking about, I think is like disempowered Hierophant, or like the Hierophant energy that we used to just kind of be cool with. Yeah. Not anymore, right? We're so evolved past that. So what we're here to do is really foster a healthy relationship with discernment and doubt. We're here to foster a healthy relationship with discernment and doubt, and then honor our inner knowing. I honor my voice, as the mantra would say. So question everything like a child would, is what Hierophant would like you to do. Doubt everything. Doubt me. Doubt your teachers. Doubt your parents. Doubt your religious texts or priests. Doubt everything. Doubt yourself. Doubt what you think you know. Doubt it all. Doubt the smartest person that you can think of. Question everything like a child, so that you can make sure that you are honoring your inner knowing, and that you are not like doing that whole blind acceptance thing that we're trying to stop collectively, and so that you can make sure that you are not gripping onto your own beliefs too tightly. We're going to talk a lot more about that. So consider, who do you place on a pedestal? Be really careful about this. So our goal here is to really undo old beliefs, undo beliefs, undoing patterns. So, because we want to be approaching what we believe and what we do, what our patterns are, from a place of internal knowing. No doubt, no question. No doubt, no question. My brain was like, well, you can seek the wisdom of others and you can seek help from others, and making sure that you are respecting your own inner knowing and your own wisdom as much as you are that of others. Because when we doubt our own wisdom, that's how we divert from what our soul wants. When we doubt our own wisdom and look too much to others, we risk saying no to our soul. So we're undoing old beliefs, old patterns. Reflect for a moment. What sort of beliefs have you adopted without question? What sort of beliefs do you hold that you have adopted without really evaluating and looking at and questioning them? What sort of patterns do you hold that you have adopted without question? And this is I'm just realizing we're shifting into Gemini season, where the Lovers rules Gemini. And I don't want to get too far into that, because I'll talk about this in the wrap up. But the Lovers asks us to see ourselves more clearly. And so I just think this is a really beautiful segue into that. What do you do? What do you know? What do you think? What do you believe? Period. And what of those things have you adopted without really thinking about it? Where are you on autopilot? Where do you turn into your mother or your father that you wish you wouldn't? Or even if you don't mind that you turn into your mother when this, that, or the other thing happens, it's important to be aware of that and to evaluate that. Yeah? Remember the power of your beliefs and how they manifest themselves into reality. And if you doubt that, revisit the manifestation mindset and manifestation bundle. What we believe has so much power. It's kind of scary, especially if we let those beliefs go unchecked, or especially if we adopt those beliefs from somebody who's just another human. This guy is just as human as the other humans. Maybe this guy has some talents or gifts and a lot of wisdom and knowing, and maybe they've been through some shit. And this guy's just a dude with some fancy robes. Do the beliefs you hold play out in your life? Okay, no, let me back up. The beliefs you hold play out in your life. Which of your beliefs are going unchecked? Like, yeah, I'll just leave that there. So this calls us into an active review and an active questioning of ourselves and others. This energy. We want to question our attachments to what we think. We want to question what we know, air quotes, know. Because here's the thing. Beliefs feel like truth, and beliefs are not necessarily truth. Your beliefs are not necessarily the truth. That's good news. That's good news, because that means that you can shapeshift your beliefs. Sure. So let me give, I don't write down any examples, which I really need to start writing down examples because it's to my detriment. But something like, I think a common one might be that you have to go to college to get a good job. It's a belief, right? It's a belief, and it's not necessarily the truth, but if you're raised in that, it sure as shit fucking feels like the truth, and then that can play out in your life. But if you shapeshift that belief and believe that you shapeshift that from you have to go to college to get a good job to you have to work hard to get a good job or make a good living or whatever. You can see how that can help open up so many fucking possibilities. You open up your reality when you adjust what you believe about yourself. What do you believe about your body? That you need to shapeshift and switch up those beliefs a little bit and broaden them and widen them for yourself so that you can have the world in your hands if you broaden your beliefs. And here's why this is such hard work. Beliefs feel like truth, and beliefs are here to keep us safe and keep us alive. And brain chemistry keeps us pretty confined. Brain chemistry that tries to keep us alive and safe doesn't like us to expand. So brain chemistry is much more confident and comfortable sitting in a belief like I have to go to college to get a good job because that has, that's safe relatively. To the brain, that sounds safe. Thinking all I have to do, or what would be a good shift from that? I think a good shift would be you must have passion and work ethic in order to, I don't even like the words good job, but feel happy making a living, whatever. Broadening that is much less concrete to the brain, scares the brain. Soul is oh fuck yeah, I've got passion, I've got motivation, I can create happiness for myself using those gifts that I have. But brain is but how, right? Beliefs feel like truth. Don't let them go unquestioned. Beliefs are not truth. It's so important and they keep us safe, right? They help us operate in the world. The things that we believe, help us operate in the world. I hate when I just repeat myself. So it's important to have things that you believe. It's important to like have a set of beliefs about how this works and that works and how I want to show up in the world, and don't grip onto those beliefs because they're not truths. You can loosen your attachment on what you believe. A good example that I hear a lot, and that maybe I used to believe this. No, I totally used to believe this. Not maybe. Everybody leaves, or this used to come up for me all the time. Poor younger Melissa. I was convinced that I was like the common denominator, because look at all these things that happened in my life, and the one common denominator was me, right? If I had to loosen the grip on the idea that everybody leaves. You can loosen the grip on that fucking attachment because it's not truth with a capital T. It's not the truth. And the longer I gripped onto an attachment like that, or the longer I felt really attached to a belief like that, it was to my detriment. If I were in this relationship, this partnership, this engagement that I'm in right now, and I still was really gripping onto this belief that everybody leaves and I'm the common denominator behind all of the problems in my life, it wouldn't be very pretty. I wouldn't be showing up very well. I wouldn't be showing up in faith of what I'm doing here and why in this partnership, right? I think there are some other examples just that are coming to mind through my work as a therapist. Something that keeps coming up, and let's have a conversation about this if you'd like, is things like, for example, every July is terrible for me. Every July is so awful for me, and I have reasons and I have proof. This person died in July, and this pet I had to put down, and I got evicted, and my family is bankruptcy, something or other, every July, it's terrible. And I honor the truth behind those sorts of examples. I honor the truth, and it's so valid that every July has been terrible. And I always encourage, like, please, can you loosen the grip on that belief that every July is terrible? Because it doesn't have to be, I promise. What beliefs do you grip onto? And like, why? Can you really evaluate that? Remember that your beliefs are human. You've had a human experience. And they are like kind of brain generated. So I think really reminding yourself of that, and if what you're looking for is the truth with a capital T, you have to remind yourself that like this is just a human experience, and my beliefs are based on my human experience, which is unique to every other human experience, and they're biased. Recognizing your humanness and your biases is so important, because what the Hierophant says is impacting others. I mean, literally in this card, these two balding men, what this person is saying is impacting them. How funny that they're both like balding like that. I wonder why she drew them like that. Sorry, I just never really noticed. What they are saying is impacting those other two people. Who do you impact? But you weren't expecting that one. I wasn't when I was typing. It's like, oh, whoa, yeah. Who do you impact? What is the power of your words? It's more than you know. We are having an effect on people. What you say has an effect on people. What we say with our words matters because we are human with human biases and we impact other people. I think it's so important to be very careful with your language. This is kind of a tangent, kind of. Be careful with your language for this reason that I just said. Especially in like times of tension. If you're in an argument, if you're asking for something from somebody else, if you're trying to teach something to somebody else and you want them to understand you, be careful with your language. Let me think of an example. I mean, as a pretty common basic example is don't say fine if it isn't fine. Don't say, yeah, go ahead and go if you don't want them to go ahead and go, right? What you say matters. Honor what you want to say from within yourself. Honor what your soul's yes and no are. And don't let somebody else's Hierophant energy be more important than yours. Respect it all. I didn't write any of that down and I love it. Reclaiming the Hierophant helps us to undo other people's control over us. Reclaiming our inner Hierophant helps us to undo fucking gaslighting and abuse and power trips from other people. When you're able to take others off of a pedestal and I don't want to say give yourself a pedestal, but honor your voice, right? Because you don't want to overcorrect and like you don't want to climb up on a soapbox and that's pretty disempowered Hierophant, right? That old archetype of I'm the teacher and I know all, la la la. We're throwing that away, right? But we're honoring that I'm both a human and I have a divine knowing within myself. I'm both a human with brain chemistry that has like some wisdom and it has a lot of good things to say. Like college is a viable path to get a good job, whatever good job means. And I'm also a soul with a divine knowing and a divine connection and a desire to expand and float like the fool. Both. Sorry. Honoring. Yeah, both. Your inner Hierophant and others' inner Hierophant. Like, you can honor that others have an inner knowing and know how human other people are. Especially me. I don't know why I wanted to say that. Especially me. Like know how human your teachers are. And realize that not all of them are aware of how human they are. Yeah? So. Where the medicine is in the ability to say, I am a person. And I have this profound insight and connection to the divine that is mine. I don't have to go through anyone else. Excuse me. You are the one that you've been waiting for. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. You don't need to wait anymore. You can take control. You can honor your power and your knowing and your truth with a capital T. You can find it. You don't need to look to others to know what to do or to have a connection with spirit. So let me see if there's anything else. Trust your knowing and say yes to yourself. Ugh. Sorry, I have notes in two different places because this work is so like just soul powered. So it's kind of everywhere. All right. Beautiful. So, we'll chat about the Empress. The Empress. What a wonderful energy. Again, this does not necessarily mean a mother figure or a female or a woman in any way. Not necessarily. And culturally, it makes sense why it's depicted in that way and oftentimes like referred to in that way. It can mean a motherly figure. It can mean motherhood. It can mean those things. And let's not limit it to that. No limits. So the Empress. The Empress. Oh, let me get to my page. The Empress is about receiving. And what a beautiful season to celebrate receiving, especially in the, maybe I shouldn't say especially, but I'm biased toward the northern hemisphere because it's where I am and it's where I've always ever been. In the northern hemisphere during this Taurus season, we are in such a period of receiving, right? We are receiving more sunlight. We're receiving more rain. Hopefully a little bit more of that would be nice. We are receiving fresh fruits from the grocery store. We're receiving did I say more sunlight? I think it's such a beautiful it's so wonderful when you can see this energy just reflected in nature. So ruled by the planet Venus, the Empress, or the planet of love and beauty and joy and a sense of richness. That's what the Empress is all about. So with the idea of receiving, there can be a lot that comes up, a lot of like unworthiness or undeservingness or some baggage that comes up in terms of receiving, especially receiving pleasure. We've talked a lot about that during this Taurus season, right? And if you are unavailable to receive pleasure and beauty and joy, then it has nowhere to go. What a fucking shame that is. If you are closing yourself off to a sense of receiving and deservingness, then you're just dismissing some of the most beautiful gifts that this universe has to offer. Shape up. Stop that. Open up and expand your comfort with receiving. I implore you, you must. Your soul wants you to, and you deserve to. This is an invitation to root down and open up into radical receptivity. So, like, experiment with this and play with this, and as you go about your day, choose to receive things. I'm receiving the beautiful scent of the candle that I have on my desk here. You can start each day with an intention of like, I am open to receiving beauty, and really like receive the fucking beauty. Find it in everything. Romanticize the fuck out of your life. I receive this delicious water that came from the fridge, a little filter pitcher in the fridge. I am so ready to receive a beautiful, nourishing, soul-quenching, and body-quenching sip of water right now. I romanticize the fuck out of this sip of water, and I'm going to receive so much medicine from it. Yeah? Fucking yum. I'm getting excited. If you are available to practice receiving, you will become so much better at giving. right? If you are able to, I don't know where this analogy came from. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't know where this analogy came from. But instead of like pouring from your cup to give to others, focus on receiving so much and like filling your cup so much that others are gaining from your overflow. That's so much like more effective and like healthier than like I'm gonna fill my cup with a massage once a month and then I work and work and work and give and give and give and kind of trample myself down and have a weird relationship with receiving because I feel like I don't deserve it unless I work and work and work and trample myself down and put everybody ahead of myself. And then I'll go on a date night with my partner and it'll fill my cup a little bit and then I can give and give a little more. And then maybe I'll paint my toenails and that'll fill my cup a little bit. But then I give and give and give a little more, right? What if it was so much more than that? What if it was so much more abundant than that and so much more like exciting, shit that you can be jazzed about, right? What if you were in this relationship with receiving where like 97% of what you do felt like receiving and nourishment? How could you show up in the world if that were the case? Awesome. That would be awesome, right? You deserve it. This is hard because most of us have really deep-rooted beliefs about taking and what it means to take and feeling undeserving of taking. We're taught in so many ways that it's not okay to have pleasure, or that so many other things are to be revered above pleasure. Ask yourself, if you were more present in your receiving, would you be a better steward of the planet? If you were more present in your receiving, would you be able to give more? If your relationship with receiving were better, maybe you wouldn't feel so panicked to take. Ugh. If you were able to just know that your cup was full and overflowing and you had a relationship with receiving and you had a relationship with your life and your world where it's just full of fucking receiving, maybe you wouldn't feel so frantic and worried about what's yours and what is not. Maybe you wouldn't feel so panicked to take. There's a big difference between taking and receiving. I want to make sure that that's on the PDF. Sorry. There's a big difference between taking and receiving. Explore that in your life. This is an invitation to focus in on opening, dilating, and being present to receiving what is actually here, what is already here. There's so much medicine already, all around, that's yours for the taking. Not taking, receiving. It's yours for the receiving. Find it everywhere. And with that, I think we're done. Explore the PDF, hang around in some of these mantras, post to the group. Let me know how you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to hearing your journey toward like really embracing these energies. What beautiful fucking energies to sit in and sink into and foster within yourself, right? Beautiful. You deserve it. I'll see you later. Take care.